Testing 1 2 3. Hello folks. We finally got a camera light, so hopefully this comes out well. The only thing is that I have to take the microphone off the camera to do it, so the microphone's actually like hanging there. I really should have the other microphones. I don't know why I have those microphones. That microphone. Let's change the microphone and see how it works. Okay. All right, how does this mic work? Better? Ugh. So, last weekend, if you watched the video from last week, we took a trip to, this is Aquila's collar for night walks. We took a trip to Uwharrie National Forest to check out the campgrounds. Had some really nice campgrounds, and they even had very cheap campgrounds with electricity. And we planned on going in there this weekend and staying warm with electric heaters and electric coffee pot and all that stuff, enjoying nature. And we packed up the camper, and then I looked on the reservation.gov, recreation.gov reservation site, and all the campsites that were reservable were reserved. There were a bunch of first come first serve campgrounds, but one of the Facebook pages that I sit on that does off-road four-wheeling and stuff like that, there were a couple of groups who were going to go down there and play on the off-road trails. And so I really figured that it was going to be pretty crowded down there. So we drove out the driveway, and when it came to getting on the highway to go to Uwharrie National Forest, the car went the other way, and somehow we ended up at the Great Smoky Mountains National Forest. We're at Smokemont Campground in the Great Smoky Mountains. It's a nice primitive campground. It's not primitive, but it just has no hookups. It has no showers, so we won't be staying there very long. I can't shower outside in a campground, but I can wash up. I can go without a shower for a couple of days, especially in the winter, I guess. But we're here. We're set up. We actually, I'll tell you something about these campgrounds. They're extremely popular, extremely hard to get a reservation in. But when I looked at this on reservation.gov, it was full, except for one site, and that was a handicap site. And you can actually take a handicap site after Wednesday of the week. So on Wednesday, I got in, actually Thursday, I got in and reserved the site. It's only $12 for me with the senior pass. Or with the military pass, or with the volunteer pass, or with the emergency services pass, or all these different passes, they give you discounts. So it's $12 a night. So we're here. We came Friday night instead of Saturday night like we were gonna, because we just wanted to get out of town. And so we got a really nice site right next to the bathroom where the handicap spots usually are. And right now, it's like 50 degrees here, so that's not bad. I mean, I'm just in a sweatshirt. It's a new sweatshirt I got off Amazon.com. Look below in the description if you want a Aliner sweatshirt. Tomorrow we will be poking around and exploring and seeing what's fun to play out here. I've been here 3 times now, and each time it gets a little better. And of course, it's not very crowded, although it was reserved when I looked at it. Everything was reserved but one site. And when I get here tonight, it's only half full. So I don't know if they don't reserve everything. Some of it's first come, first serve or what. But it's very hard to navigate the reservations, in my opinion. Let me get to bed, get some reading, some research up, and we'll get back with you tomorrow morning. All right? Catch you back right here. Hello, folks. Good morning. It is morning. It is actually, for us, it's late morning. We got up at around 5 o'clock. Sun didn't come up until 7. I thought it came up at more like 6:15 or 6:30, but it was totally dark until 7 o'clock. No seeing anything. We drove around a little bit looking for wildlife on the roads. Did I say we were in the Smoky Mountains National Park? But it was really too dark and it began to sprinkle a bit, so we didn't see anything. But this is the great thing about the Smoky Mountain National Park. We are at Smokemont Campground, and it's just 5 miles up the road from Cherokee, the town of Cherokee, which is the Cherokee Indian Reservation, and it is decked out for Christmas. It's not crowded here. There's nobody here really. Of course, I came in last night about 9:30, and there were people going to the casino, but like 2 or 3 people, not like the crowds that you normally see. There were some RVs in the parking lot, and there were cars in the parking lot, but it was not very really crowded. It's like normally it's just a big party center, but it's not crowded at the moment. I don't know if that's COVID or if it's Christmas, but the town is just decked out in Christmas lights, all sorts of things. Let me see if I can show you some of these. They got the manger scene here, and like a Christmas tree. And of course, these aren't very good during the daytime, but every house has some setup of lights. This is the River Island Park where I'm parked next to, and they are decked out and lights all over. But while I'm not real big on the national parks, just because they just don't have what I want, the Smokemont, we'll give you a tour of that, walking around. It's only half open, so it's really easy to give a tour of the whole thing because there's nobody in the rest of it. But the bathrooms are just bathrooms. They do have flush toilets, which is kind of nice, but they don't have any hot water. They don't have showers. They don't even have water in the campground. You can't get water in the campground. I don't know what tenors like water, don't they? You have to go to the bathrooms to get water. It's a little close. It's well groomed and well taken care of, but it's not separated like a nice state park has a lot of space between it. The national parks are a little more looking for capacity, I think. But the nice thing about the Smoky Mountains National Park is that from most places, most of the campgrounds, you can drive to a town and get, food and beverage and recreation and all that stuff without any trouble, which is really nice. Like I was at Shenandoah, and the nearest place was like 2 hours away of any real, and it might have only been 10 miles with the roads and everything, but Smoky Mountains are pretty nice for that reason, and that's probably why they're the most popular national park in the United States. But anyways, we're going to go back to the campground. We had breakfast, and we're going to tour a little bit. We'll look for wildlife. The elk are supposed to be down off the mountains and into the fields, so maybe we'll see some elk in the fields. Talk about your basic picture taking opportunities. But let's see what we can do, and we'll be right back. We're up near Klingman's Dome Road on 441, headed towards Gatlinburg. Yes, the road gets a little more treacherous at the top. The mountains in winter are not to be taken lightly. And this is just the north side of this mountain. It's, the south side doesn't seem to be all that snowy. Well, one of the great things about the Great Smoky Mountains is that, you know, it's really a national park for hikers. There's gazillions of miles of hiking trails, but there's also lots of really nice roads. The roads in the national park are for non-commercial use only. No trucks, tractor trailers, nothing like that in this park. So it's really a great place to come. Unfortunately, it does get crowded, but right now it's not bad at all. The beautiful mountains. It's supposed to rain today, but I'm hoping it doesn't. And of course, like any national park with wildlife, you have traffic jams. Just like any place else. The elk must be crossing the road or something, and everybody's stopped to watch them. Or they have to stop to let them cross, one of the two. Well, there are about 1 billion videos of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the elk and all the waterfalls and everything, but you know, I'm just going to add to them. So here's a few pictures with the zoom lens showing you what you can see on any particular day at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is quite a huge herd, and this one guy seems to be in charge of it. Where is he? There he is. He says, "I'm in charge. Everybody follow me." No antlers on anybody. All these females are his. Boy, what a job that must be. So this is the farm behind the visitor center off of 441. And it is supposed to be a authentically reproduced farm of the times of the 1800s. Let's see if we can find a kiosk that actually gives. This is the Mountain Farm Museum. And if you can read that real quick, or you can pause it. There's a pause. Just click on the screen and it'll pause. And it's next to this beautiful stream. If I was a fly fisherman with a license, I'd be in there right now fishing. That is just one beautiful stream. That's the house. You know, everybody's pushing for tiny houses these days. They cost $200,000-300,000 for a tiny house. There you go, right there. That's a pretty tiny house. I'll bet they didn't pay $1,000 for it either. Got fruit trees and fruit yards. Got the utility barn way down there. I don't think we're going to go through everything because Akila's waiting for us. And this is why we can't have Akila down here. These little beasts, they're everywhere down here. Here's a cool evaporator stove or boiling station. I don't know if that's, I'm assuming that's for Sorghum, whatever it's called. I don't think they did maple syrup, but I suppose you can evaporate a lot of things down to a useful thing. Let's see what's sorghum mill and furnace to evaporate it down to molasses. It says the sorghum was squeezed out through a mill, and then the sticky syrup was boiled down, and 10 gallons of sap would make 1 gallon of syrup, molasses, long sweetening as it was called in the day, and it was used in dozens of recipes as a sweet syrup. You hit one of those stones when you're plowing, you're in sad shape. Well, that's too bad. They've got it locked up. The apple house For the Mountain family, apples were a staple, eaten raw and used for cider, vinegar, applesauce, apple butter, pies. Storing them was important, as evidenced by the substantial apple house. Summer apples were stored on the upper floor. Hardier winter apples were put on in ground floor bins. Earth and thick stone walls provided insulation from cold and heat. So the apple orchard was important. All right, we better get back to the boy. There are Bluetooth tour things through here. If you get headphones or your phone, I think you can pick it up on the phone. I left my phone in the car, so I don't have it. Over the river with a bridge. But it's just not running water right at the moment. I guess it would be a bad idea just in case something broke, it would flood the mill. But look at those timbers. Those are impressive. You don't see any nails or spikes or anything in those suckers. That's just mortise and tenon. Maybe a peg. There's a peg. The Mingus mill. It was a turbine mill. You can read any of that, but it was the 200 feet long wooden flume brings water to a turbine, not a water wheel. So there was no water wheel, it was a turbine. Oops. Came down like that. And that's what that thing is right there. That's the turbine shaft. That is very cool. And they do have the flume shut off right there. There's a gate. They must open it so the water doesn't go down through the turbine. Very cool. It was a corn mill. It says you didn't eat nothing without corn. Everything was corn in it. But look at the length of that flume. That's a long flume. Well, this is the entirety of the Tow String Horse Camp. It appears to be 3 tent sites and some places to tie up your horse, but there's no parking. I don't know what you do with your horse trailer or whatever you're pulling, but this is the parking lot with a porta-john and a generator for some purpose. But let's check out the campground. We're in this gray part. This is the front of the campground, which is open right now. The rest is all closed off for the winter. The circle across, the loop across the river is for RV camping, and the end is for most of the campers. So let's check this out. The moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for. We're going to go do the tour of the bathrooms. If you don't want to watch the tour of the bathrooms, skip ahead 2 minutes, and I'll actually even put a marker in the timeline below. But this is Smokemont Campground, and this is the bathhouse. There is no bathing. It's just bathrooms. They have water fountains out here, but they're turned off for the season. And there is only cold water, 2 sinks with nice mirrors, and fairly regular bathrooms. And they do keep it warm in here with a little tiny heater, keep the water from freezing, I guess. It only got down to about 30 last night, but that is the complete bathroom tour. These are the campsites where I am. I am in the B loop, and I am actually on a handicap spot. As I said in the beginning of the video, you can get a handicap spot if you wait till the last couple days before, and if they're open, you can use them. There's a little tag trailer. There's another one right over there. There's a scamp right across from me, and then there are a lot of tents. It's a truck camper over there. But when I did the reservations, this was the only campsite open, which I took. Said I could take it. But look at it. Does it look like all the campsites are taken? Maybe they're not reservable. Who knows? But I wasn't going to take a chance coming all this way. This is 4 hours for me. So let's get the boy out of the car and we will go for a walk. So most of the campsites in the B loop are short tent sites, just parking spots for your car and then a tent pad. And maybe that's why it said that all the places were taken when I reserved, because I was looking for a trailer site. And I mean, I could have fit in any of these. Heel. But I guess all the tent sites are still open. So here's a van up here. He ran this generator, I think, all night. Or maybe not. Maybe he just ran a furnace all night on a battery. But he was noisy all night long. And I don't know if he's here camping or what he's doing, but he's got a little fake Honda that makes a lot of noise. So that's the A and B loop that currently are open, and we're going to go up into the other loops that are currently not open. This is what you get in the national forests. There's no hunting, and so there's wildlife everywhere. This guy wants to come over and meet Aquila. So we are looking through the C loop, which is right along the river. And again, it's mostly parking spots for tents and maybe a small camper like a Scamp or a Aliner. But that's the C loop. And if I can get him to heel, if I can get him to sit for a minute. You know, it's a picnic table, fire ring, tent platform, fairly short driveway, same everywhere. Now on the map, this just looks like parking lots. But actually, these are pretty nice little campsites. They're a little close, but at least they're in the woods. And nice spots for camping. They're tent platforms up a bit. And this is the D loops. And this is the massive amount of camping. They have 2 bathrooms, 2 bathhouses at least, maybe 3. And it's a very long. So if you look at the map for reservations and stuff, this looks like it's just a crummy parking lot, but it's really not too bad. Like I say, it's all forested and nice. And I guess most of them are pull-throughs, though not all of them. This one is a handicapped. It's not a pull-through. Why don't they make the handicaps to pull-through? D35. And I guess it's not a pull-through because it would pull through onto the septic system for the bathrooms. And here's the other bathroom. Same typical bathroom as we've looked at. It's a camp host site right next to the bathroom, of course. He's got electric, water, and sewer, I'll bet. There's the Smokemont Loop Trail, 1.7 miles, just right up my alley. It appears that some of the bathrooms do have a wash sink on the outside. I didn't bother to walk around ours, so I'll have to check and see if there's a wash sink on ours. But that's the group camp bathroom, and this is the group camping area. So, you know, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tent sites, maybe even 9. And for the group, for a big group, like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, whatever, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, picnic tables. So it's for the big groups. And I imagine that bathroom's for them only. Okay, now we are going across the river, which has some very huge culverts underneath it. And this is the RV campsites. This loop is supposedly reserved for RVs only, or predominantly, but they have much longer driveways, although some of them are only 25 feet maximum size. Some of them are 40 feet, but this is the RV only site. And let's see, starting with number 2 right here at the front, that looks like about a 35 footer. Over there, same thing. Back over there, it's a little smaller. Way back over there, but this is a loop that goes around, and they have their own bathhouse way over there. We'll get over there, and just for my opinion, F8 RV is really nice. It's right on the water, right on the river. You can see the dip is down there in the water. It's got a lot of space between it and the next one, which is right over there, which is a small one, which means it won't be some big monster running the air conditioner and generator all day and night. And then there's a little one on the other side of it, which is also very small and might not be prime for somebody, and there's a lot of firewood in the ground, in the forest. Here these ones are right along the back side of the loop. They're all pretty close, pretty, you know, they might be a lot nicer with leaves on all these little bushes and stuff, but some of them there's no, the ones on the inside of the loop don't have any shrubbery between them. There's the bathhouse. It has a wash sink, and same as the other bathhouses, but I know I'm going back and forth pretty fast and I'm bouncing along pretty hard, but Akila's marking all the trees he really likes. Now, last night when we were here, I had my headlight on and I was pointing up at the trees, and one of these trees had an owl in it. I can't remember which one. Well, folks, I think we're gonna dump the camera and do some more exploring, and then pack up and get out of here. You know, it was cold last night and waking up was tough, and Akila was kind of miserable. So I think we're gonna head out probably about 5 or 6 o'clock, just as it gets dark, because the traffic's less after dark. But thanks for coming along with me. Well, as a summary of this campsite, this campground, as a lot of you might know, I'm not partial to the national parks. They have a lot of rules about dogs and staying on trails and doing things. And it amazes me that while they say their mission is to preserve the areas, they don't do hunting or cutting or anything. They let it stay natural. As a result, when they have forest fires, it burns it to the ground, which that's natural, but it's not preferable. And they don't have facilities. Well, the national forests do have full facilities. They have electricity, they have hot showers and hot water. Some of them even have you know, water on the campsites and full hookups. But I'm going to stick with the national forest when I can. I didn't want to go to Uhari because I figured it would be too busy this weekend, but we'll probably be down there in January when it's really nice and cold and we can really enjoy the facilities in the national forest. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to watch some more of my videos, subscribe and hit the bell if you need notification to remind you. But basically I try to post every Thursday morning, so you have all weekend to watch them. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. As I said, I'll have some stuff in the description on things that I had that you might be interested in, like the Aliner sweatshirt and some things like that. check out the description for other links on other things. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas. Have a great 2021. Bye-bye.